This is the Dreamers Podcast, where dreamers share their stories to inspire you. Now, join host Joe Pardo as he interviews a dreamer who's living their dreams.
Welcome to the Dreamers Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Pardo, and today I am interviewing Danny Murphy, who is living his dream of making something out of nothing. Welcome to the show, Danny.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited for you to share your story today. I've been a part of your story, so it's extra special for me. Let's begin by giving some background about yourself, Danny.
25 years old. I was born and raised in Pennsauken, New Jersey. High school graduate of Pennsauken High School. 2 national titles, 2007 Pennsauken High School football team and basketball team. I work at Pardo's Truck Service Parts Warehouse. I've been there for about 4 years, and that's pretty much it.
So what would you say inspires you?
When I see people have things, that I'd like to have, it motivates me to want to have those things and work hard and take care of the people that's around me. And look out for the people that's looked out for me. Helped me through my hard times and was there for me to celebrate my good times.
So how did all this come about?
Well, when I was younger, my parents split up and I was kind of confused on where I wanted to go in life. I was kind of on the wrong path for a little while. I was doing kind of stupid, petty things as a kid growing up, getting into trouble. And then when I was about 18, 19 years old, I kind of realized that that's not the way to go. And I just try to set a good example for my family members that are younger than me and my friends that I grew up with, that you can do things differently and still have the same, success that you had when you were doing the wrong things. You can do it in a good way and do positive things with the people around you. And that's what I try to do. I just try to keep it positive.
What kind of struggles did you have with your parents splitting up?
When my mom and father split up, there was a lot of anger there. A lot of anger. And I took it out a lot on her because, I really didn't know how to handle that type of situation. 14 years old, the person that I thought my father wasn't the person he is. The person that he is nothing what I thought he was. I had a lot of anger, and I struggled to deal with that for 4 or 5 years. It was very hard to figure out how to channel that emotion to a certain extent, that hatred. Sports is what it was for me. I just put all the effort I had into sports and tried to make the best of what I could with that.
So at what age did you try changing your life to make it better for yourself?
When I played basketball in high school, I was really good, and I really thought that I could probably make it to the NBA. I was probably one of those kids who thought, I can dunk, I got a jump shot, I got a crossover, I'm going to go to the NBA. And that didn't happen. And I was kind of disappointed at that too, because I made some mistakes in school. And I had to go to an alternative high school, and I remember our home games used to be played at the Burlington County College, and my coach, I was in my senior year, and my coach said to this college scout, "You should really look at this kid." And the scout told my coach he don't got time for a kid that went to an alternative school. So that was difficult for me, just knowing that was my last year in school. And that was the game before our last game, so that was always in the back of my head. And then I got to about 19, and I just wanted to change, and the people that I was around and constantly hanging with and doing not the best of things to be doing. I just wanted to change. I wanted to be a better person, and my grandfather was sick at the time, and I wanted to make him proud. I wanted to make my mom proud and show them that even though I didn't start off the best way, that I'll do my best to finish and be the best man that I can be.
So how was that received by your family?
They were happy that I was finally ready to put that stuff past me and build on a new person. I wouldn't say I'm a completely different person. I mean, a lot of me, half of me is the old me as far as seeing things from people's point of views. I mean, I understand people's views and stuff. And there's about half of me that's a completely new person as far as the maturity level, my professionalism. I've learned a lot of stuff that I really didn't think that I would learn. Overall, the family was happy and they're proud of me today. My mom's very proud of me. I've made accomplishments through my job, and I just hope I'm making them proud, and I think for the most part they are.
So what steps did you take to get started with making these changes in your life?
First thing is the people that you're around. When I was younger and when I was having problems channeling my emotions, I was taking it out on the people that were the last ones to deserve it. I was taking it out on my mom, and my mom's been there for me through everything. Everything I ever went through, she was right there with me the whole time. And she didn't deserve that. I had to admit that I had an anger problem and that it was going to take time to work on that. I'm still working on some of those same things today. I had to cut off some people that I was around. People that I thought were friends that weren't friends. People that weren't the people that I wanted to be around. I had to figure out who loved me for me, regardless of flaws and everything else that goes with it. I had to realize that just because one thing doesn't work out, there's always another step. So that's important. If one thing doesn't go your way, there's no need to get all mad and upset. You can do something else. Make your own path, regardless of how you do it. Leave your own legacy.
So were there any roadblocks that you hit when trying to do all of this?
Absolutely. You know, when you're trying to change who you are in the beginning, it's very difficult because you could still be in some of them same situations where, you know, when I was 18, 16, 17, 18 years old, if there was a confrontation, my way to handle it would be, all right, let's fight. Now I see that's not the way to go. I mean, you talk things out. That's how relationships are lost most of the time. Misunderstandings and things like that. You need to be willing to talk things out sometimes. Fighting's not always the right answer. Another roadblock was maturity. I had to mature a lot as a man, and I had to accept. The hardest thing was probably accepting me for me. I mean, it was hard for me to accept the person that I was with my flaws, and some of them are very hard to change. And like I said earlier, I'm still working on them. I think I made good progress on most of them. And a few of them I still need to work on, and hopefully I can get there.
How did you go about overcoming some of these?
Well, I've had good influences in my life. My mother, my grandparents, people like you, people like Eric. You know some people that have been instrumental in my life in helping me make the right decisions and grooming me and trying to show me the way. And it's been very helpful to me. And really, once I started to see the things that like you were trying to teach me and people were trying to teach me, once I really started taking that seriously, is when I started to see the change. You know, that I didn't have to be the person that I was. I could be the same person, just a better, more mature person.
Well, thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
So, I mean, there was something else that happened along the way. You were in a car accident.
Yeah, that was difficult. I had to learn to walk again, talk again. Doctor told me I wasn't gonna be able to play basketball, and I said, Doc, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. I'm gonna be out there that first game. And that first game came, and they said, starting at point guard, number 5, Danny Murphy. I was on that floor. That was a very difficult time. And my brother was involved in that car accident as well. You know, I had to be strong for him, and as his older brother, trying to show him, you know, if I can make it through it, so can you. My condition was a little worse than his. I had a couple broken ribs and a broken shoulder, and I just wanted to show him that you can get through anything. And I did. And I told that doctor I'd play at that game, and I did. Scored 32 points. Never forget it. There's a lot of roadblocks that I went through, though. I mean, when your parents split up, at 14 years old, you're like, whoa, how can I really deal with this? And I just had to, stick with it, learned, lived, and try to be the best person that I can be. The car accident was another. That was, I wouldn't say a setback, because it's never about the setback. It's all about the get back. Losing people along the way, people that you love and care about that, I've lost friends, family. There's been a lot of struggles to go through, and I think for the most part, I've gotten through them all. I've been strong for myself, my family members, my friends, and I hope that they're appreciative of that, and they're proud to say that I was there for them when I was.
So is there any parts of your dream so far that haven't quite worked out the way you planned it?
My man Floyd Mayweather says, hard work and dedication pay off. I hope that's true, because I work hard. I'm dedicated to everything I do. And I wouldn't say there's anything that hasn't worked out, but there's some things that I'm hoping that will eventually work out. So I would say everything's okay for now, and some things are still left unfinished. So I really couldn't say that there's nothing that hasn't worked out yet.
So Danny, if you were stranded on a deserted island with your family, what 3 things would you want to have with you?
First and foremost, I need me some music, a basketball court, and I would have to bring my sneakers. I don't care if it was sandy or not. I love my Jordans. Shout out to Michael Jordan.
What do your dreams for the future look like?
I'm going to be playing in a basketball summer league this summer. I'm going to be a part of a summer league. I'm also going to be a volunteer at a basketball camp. And, maybe I can turn that into something. The love of the game for me is there still. I love competition. That would truly be a dream at 25 years old, maybe to get an opportunity to play basketball on a more regular basis instead of just when I'm done working on the weekends. That would be truly a dream come true, because basketball is my first love. As far as the professional side, I don't know. Maybe I can be in a better position, maybe next year, the following year. Who knows? To be honest, Joe, I really don't try to say I want to do this at that by this time. I just kind of take every day, day by day, day by day.
So is there any last thoughts you'd like to share?
I'd like to thank the people that took the time to listen to this. I'd like to thank you for having me. I'd like to give a shout out to the other people that have been on here. I think that's a cool thing. The future people that you have on here. I think the Dreamers podcast will be a success. I think it's something that people should embrace. People and dreams are can be a very sensitive thing. It takes a lot of heart. Be able to talk to people that they don't really know and express themselves and tell people. A lot of the people are afraid to admit what their real dreams are. They're just content with where they're at. Some people are too afraid to admit that. I'd rather be playing basketball versus working in a warehouse. Some people would think, maybe I'm too old. Maybe I can't do that no more. But it's important that I think people try to get this type of stuff out, that, dreams are a real thing. And if you're able to accomplish them, you don't ever have to feel like you can't do something. You could do, if you're focused, you can do it.
Well, Danny, I really appreciate that. It's very heartwarming. I was tearing up just listening to you talk, in all honesty. So is there any websites or Facebooks or Twitters that you'd like to plug?
Friend request me on Facebook, Danny Murphy. I have an Instagram, D_Murphy3889. I don't do the Twitter or anything else like that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I really, really deeply appreciate it. And I hope that it inspires some people out there to make changes in their life. And I would love to have you come on again, 6 months, a year, and follow up where you're at.
Yeah, that'd be something that I'd love to do. I'd like to thank you for having me. And to the people out there chasing their dreams, keep chasing them and don't be afraid to be who you are. And sometimes it takes a little time to realize who you actually are. But when you know it, trust me. And thank you for having me. And I'll be back in 6 months, and I'll be back in a year. How's that?
It sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Dreamers Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Dreamers Podcast. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/Dreamers Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Dreamers Podcast, please send an email to j@jpar.co. This podcast is copyright 2014 by jpar.co.